Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here today and to play with you and bring you on board with a couple of my favorite little peeps. I have with me Katherine McIntosh and Cory Michelle. Hey, ladies.
Hi, Rachel.
So, what is all the fun stuff going on with money?
I love that. It's like money, money. Everybody's talking about money right now, aren't they? Like I
Yeah,
see everywhere. Like there's all. I mean, and it's been like this for a while now. Of like, how do you make money in your business, and how do you manifest money, and how do you be a money magnet, right? And it's a hot topic.
it is. And how can I want money in my life without being a Scrooge or a bitch or anything else? I mean, we get ridiculed anytime that we start to talk about the topic because for some odd reason, there are all these judgments and conclusions that if we have it, we're assholes, so we should give it all away.
Right, or if we have it, we have to prove that we're working really, really hard, so we end up being time poor. Like,
Yeah,
it's like all the 6 and 7 figure earners that are like burnt out because they're actually time poor. They're like, okay, great, now I have money, but I can't, Cory and I had a conversation with someone today. She's like, I had all this money, but I didn't have a life, and I was actually miserable. And it's like, what's the point of having money if you can't use it to play, travel, have joy, have fun, and really like strut your stuff and have your life?
Mhm.
absolutely. So, what things are you offering or contributing to people in your money class? What can people expect while playing with you?
It's interesting because Catherine and I have been kind of creating classes together for about a year and a half now. And people tell us that our conversation around money and business and creating these lives that we have
Hmm.
are different, right? It's not, for us, I guess we'll start with what it's not, right? It's not about here's your business model, work your business model, get more people, go into the grind. Because for Catherine and I, that feels like a job, right? And it's like you got to do the right things so that you can create the results. And Catherine and I'll just speak for myself, but I think Catherine feels the same way. It's more like we're like business artists and business magicians, where if we go into the like, this is how you do it, and if you follow my system, and if you follow my formula, then you'll be successful, right? That hasn't worked for me, right? Like I tried all the systems and I tried all the coaching and that I have over the last number of years, and what I found that actually worked for me was really just being willing to be the artist in business that I truly be, to
Hmm.
paint my own canvas, to see what is going to work for me, and not just think that somebody else's formula is going to work for me. And I feel like there's a lot of people that Catherine and I are talking to these days that are burned out on the whole conversation of this is the way you do business, but how it's also attached to money, because a lot of us, like I would say most of us, go into business because we'd like to have do something that we really enjoy
Hmm.
and have the money follow, right? Have the money there as well, so we're free. We have the time freedom, we have the money freedom, we have the create your life freedom. But we're also finding that not only is this conversation about how you do your business and here's how you manifest money and here's how you create it in your life or your business, but there's all this underlying current stuff that is, keeping us from actually having the way that we would like to create our life and our businesses actually work for us, right? So we're sabotaging ourselves with believing that we're not worthy, and we're sabotaging with ourselves with not feeling like we're not deserving or not charging the prices that we would like to, and duplicating our family's patterns and stuff like that, where all of that stuff has an effect on, you know, creating our business. But not a lot of people are talking about it in a way that is like we're talking about it, which is really in the space of, hey, what do you know? Like, where's your brilliance? Where's your magic? Let's ignite that. And that's where this flood of receiving comes in from all directions, and your business starts growing in a way that, is sort of unpredictable from before, and money starts coming in from all directions, and then all of a sudden it's really easy to ask the prices that you would like to have, or people just start showing up because you're like really irresistible to them. They're like, I don't know what it is, but I need to work with you. I need your program. I need your product. So it's kind of a different way of thinking, instead of, follow this formula and you'll have all the money, but more like, what if you could be you? What if you could be more of you and have more money?
So in my experience with all of this, I have found that what got them there won't get me there. What got that billionaire there isn't going to create the same thing for you. It's you can't recreate their wheel. You're the cog. You have to tap into your own authenticity. You have to tap into your own genius. And so what I'm hearing you guys saying is, we're just tapping you into the magic of you. You already have all of the ingredients and all of the tools that are in you to create your reality, your millions, your success.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really the difference, Rachel, is that Cory and I just and you as well, because we've had lots of conversations about this. It's it's about tapping people into their genius, because the money classes or the programs that I've personally taken, I've paid lots of money for, are here's a formula, here's a business plan. You're going to do our business plan for your magic. And it's it doesn't work. And it's the lie. It's the only thing that we can do is show you your magic and show you your magic with money. And it was cute because we have this giant Facebook group. We have 200 people from all over the world joining us on this money class. And so the energetic impact that it's having on everyone taking the class is unbelievable. And one of the women was like, you guys lied to me. You totally tricked me. And I'm reading this Facebook thread going, oh, crap. And she's like, I'm not just having more money, I'm actually having all of me. And that is priceless. And so what we're actually doing with people is yeah, money's great, but we know people who have millions and they're miserable. We know people who have nothing and they're happy, sometimes miserable when their bank account goes negative, but it's not about the quality or quantity of money, it's about the quality of magic and joy that each person knows is possible. So really we're here to invite people back into the magic, back into it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's about you literally embracing what you know is possible, and there is no business plan for your magic. There is no business calculated crunch numbers formula to give you your joy.
You know, I also would just like to add, and it's that I've listened to both of you in different programs and different arenas, and I love both of you. I want to say that I have been in different areas of my life where I've had large amounts of money, and I've also spent large amounts of money. What I think that you guys are offering people is that these people that are coming with stuck thermostats in a poverty-stricken level, what you're doing is raising the thermostat for them, but you're fundamentally giving them the steps and the foundation so they don't fall back down. Because if I hadn't taken the necessary steps that I have taken to enhance the quality of my life and move that thermostat level up. If I had got involved in what I got involved in last year and created that back when I was stuck in my thermostat, I'd be right back again. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's such a important point. And it's funny because there's been some people in the class who are like, I'm going up and down, and they're looking for this consistency.
You're doing something. Yeah, you're going up and down. You're supposed to. You're fluctuating. We're creating something.
Up and down. Cool. How does it get better than that? It's magic. I have no idea.
When you smash the ceiling and then you come back down on your face onto the floor,
yeah.
Then you know what it is. Now we can get rid of it.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, there's a resonance. There's an energetic resonance, and it's not, like, so many people think it's in my head, like, or in your head. Like if you just think differently, right? If you just think differently, then it'll change. But we haven't found that actually to be true, because if it really was true, we would all be billionaires.
Yeah, I would have thought myself to be a trillionaire by now.
Yeah, like whatever that is, we would have everything. There wouldn't be any money classes or people working with businesses. We would just have it, right? But it's not that way. And we're energetic beings. We've got all of these programs like a hard drive, right? And we've got all these apps and programs. But then a lot of us have viruses that are keeping us limited, right? That are keeping us not fully, like, being able to create what we know is possible. Because if you have a business, so I'll just tell you my story a little bit. I knew that going into a job, like a 9-to-5 job right out of college, for my bachelor's degree, it would have gotten me, I think it was like $7.25 an hour, and I knew more was possible than $7.25, right? And so I started working in a direct marketing company, and I, made some money there, and I just saw the possibility. I was able to be around people who were making $10,000 a month, $20,000, $90,000 a month, and in my world, that was like holy, who makes $90,000 a month? I don't know, but I want to be one of those people, right? So I was introduced to that possibility at a very young age, and when you know that something else is possible, and that's kind of that desire is like within you, and that's sort of leading where you want to go, but you're coming up against the ceilings, or you're coming up with a little virus that says you can't have it, you're not worth it, or something like that is sort of redirecting you, then it literally is these programs in your world that keep you from actually creating what is possible. And what we do, what Katherine and I both do, is actually delete those programs. It's kind of like on your iPhone, you just like hold the thing down, and then you hit the X and the app is gone. That's kind of what we do, and what happens is after we delete the app, delete the virus, then all of a sudden your system starts working more naturally to your essence, more naturally to what you know is possible. It's like you had a flat tire and now you put a new tire on, and you're like, oh, I'm cruising again. I can go 80 on the highway, woohoo! Right? But with a flat tire you couldn't, or with a virus it keeps taking you to sites you definitely don't want to be going to. So getting you in alignment with you, because then when you're in alignment and you're taking the actions, then it's like the universe goes, oh, I know what you want now, and it brings it in, and it goes, okay, cool, you'd like to have more clients, you'd like to have more money, you'd like to have more stability or consistency in your income, okay, and then you get led to all the right people and all the right pieces of information and all the right everything, and it just goes ding, 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 whoop. But when you have all these viruses, right, or the flat tire, it'll take you a lot longer. So we actually just make the path a lot shorter, faster, and easier, and teach you how to do that.
You clear all of the debris out of the road, and the road becomes broader, and all of the things that should have been aligned in their birthright to begin with all of a sudden come into sight.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. And it's amazing, like, what happens, because both Katherine and I have been facilitating this body of work for years, but we apply it to our own life. Like, we've both changed every single area of our lives, especially around money and business, and now we're in this place where we get to play with money, and it's not a problem anymore. And what we find, which baffled me, so this is one of the things that really baffled me, is when I started getting connected to more people that had created 6- and 7-figure businesses, they still have issues. And I, for some reason, thought that once you hit 6 and 7 figures, you magically don't have issues anymore. And I was like, holy cow, there's so many people still dealing with doubt or worried that it's all going to go away. Or one guy I was talking to, and he does multiple 7 figures in his coaching business, and he was like, I am stressed out because I'm now responsible for the livelihood of my staff. And if we don't make the numbers, I can't pay them. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I wonder if there's an easier way. I wonder if there's a way to have that much revenue and have that many staff people and not have to take on the burden of worrying, like, are we actually going to make the numbers? Or can we keep this going? Right? So we start to pull out those energetic, like the worry, the burden, all that stuff, and so that it's just like, oh, okay, good. So instead of a worry, it's more like, okay, well, how can we do this? What can we add to our business? How can we make more money versus the fear and all the other stuff that comes up?
Absolutely. Well, one of the fun things that all of us have in relation here is these ladies are teaching something they have mastered. They've gone through all the flat tires, crashed their car, and now they're masters. So we're not coming in here from all the where we were born with money. All of a sudden just had a $1 billion idea, and now you're these people have already done course for you, literally course, so that you can remove all of the obstacles that get there, or keep what you have and make it easier so that you have more time with your life, with your family. And I think that's brilliant.
Rachel, you're getting double of you.
No. So you get two for one. You're getting two of me for one.
That's awesome.
I love it. Go ahead, Katherine.
There's still an echo. Wondering if there's something we can do about it.
Are we all echoing?
I'm not getting any echoes over here.
Okay. I'm getting an echo through my computer. And it's coming through Rachel.
Isn't it?
I can put my earphones on. What else?
Sometimes that needs to go away.
Okay, earbud. I don't have an echo.
Did that work? Is mine the only one echoing? No, mine's not echoing now. I'm not echoing.
I can't hear you, Rachel. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
And I can hear Cory.
Yeah. Katherine, I think it's you.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my phone. Hold on.
Cory, I think you can take your earphones out because I think after Katherine plugged it stopped.
It's gone.
Okay, good. Woohoo! We just had a friendly little echo that wanted to hang out.
We had a little echo. Katherine, do you want to talk about sort of what you've shifted in your world?
Yeah, well, it's something that when I was looking at, if I can go back to it, was like this. It's like what the lie is that when people have money, they think, like, if they don't have money, they go to, well, when I have money, then all of this unconsciousness will change. And, the three of us have talked about it. It's like, no, the unconsciousness doesn't change until you change the unconsciousness. So no matter what's happening on the surface, like, say to go back to the car analogy, you're driving down a road with a bunch of rusty nails and you put new tires on your car. If the rusty nails are on the road, if the unconscious programming around money is still on your road and you're driving a brand new vehicle, you're still going to get a flat tire. You're still going to have all of that stuff going on under the surface. And so really it's about cleaning the road. And, you know, to reiterate what Cory was saying, that unconscious programming is so intense. And it's like, whether you have millions, whether you have billions, whether you have $50 in your account, whether you have a couple thousand, if you don't change the programming, you're still going to feel like crap about money, no matter how much is in your bank account. And so we really are a proponent of, there is a possibility with money where if you have billions, you don't have to hide it in the closet. You don't have to put it in a foreign bank account worried for the collapse to happen. Like, and I'm not saying to not do that, but it's about, there's a different reality with money when you start to follow your awareness.
Yes, and it might not even look anything like you thought it would, ever.
Yeah, exactly.
And it might flow in completely the opposite of what you were ever expecting as well. But if you're not working with the tools that you guys are teaching and working with removing all of the obstacles that Katherine was just talking about, then surprise. Your surprise might just be you're going to stay where you're at.
Exactly. There's like so many different tools that we teach and that we work with. So we're not only just, you know, clearing stuff that's, you know, clearing the debris for you. We're actually teaching people how to do it ongoingly. And what's interesting is that, like Katherine said, that gal on Facebook said, you lied. Like, we're this
What a
stuff.
horrible liar.
Yeah, we're liars. This stuff affects everything in your life. So it's not just about money, but money is connected to happiness, it's connected to your relationships, connected to creating your future. Like, how, you know, big are you willing to go in your business? Like, where do you want to play? Are you willing to be seen? It's all interconnected. Like, you can't just, you know, run around saying I'm a money magnet and have that change. Like, I did that. I ran around and did that, and nothing changed. I was just saying something different. Yeah, the nails were still, like, the debris was all still on the highway, right? But I was like, yay, I'm a money magnet. And it was like, okay, well, that is possibly one piece to start looking at money differently, instead of I'm horrible with money, but what was underneath the surface for me was I'm terrible with money, which happened to be not true. But it was something that I believed because of some circumstances in my life. And when I shifted that, I was like, oh, I'm actually really great with money, and I know how to create it. And then when I acknowledged it, all of a sudden, more started coming in from lots of different directions. Right? So it's really like igniting the brilliance of you, such that you have you. It's not just a bunch of techniques. It's like you have access to your own awareness, your own intuition about money and business, your own personal navigation system that's like leading you in a way that's more fruitful and abundant and prosperous and delicious than you ever thought was possible. That's really the essence of what we're doing with people.
How many people are you finding show up with the space or the delusional reality that they absolutely have nothing? So they're creating from, I have absolutely nothing. A lot?
Yeah, there's, well, what's interesting about that one for me personally is that there's people who might not have very much in their bank account, right, who've been living more in a poverty or scarcity sort of mentality, but it's crazy, and this blew my mind, where people who have generated 6 and 7 figures and more, they don't think they have anything either.
I know.
Right? Like, there's like people who are like, oh yeah, we did $1 million in business, but then they didn't take more than $100,000 home, or less than that, right? Or the spending is sort of a little out of control, right? Where we were talking about this, or actually we talked about this on the call yesterday, of like spending your money versus creating your money. Like, are you in an unconscious spending pattern, which basically means you don't have any for yourself? And are you willing to have money for you and enjoy it in a different way? So, like, it's like, that blew my mind. Like, millionaires or people that have seven-figure businesses still feeling like they don't have anything.
And they're forgetting the value that they're actually surrounded by and the value of them, because it cost you a lot of money to come in here into the planet. Well, it didn't cost you. It cost somebody else a lot of money.
Exactly. Katherine, do you want to add to that one?
Yeah, just this is one of my favorite topics. It's this idea of even, you know, whether you have very little or you have a lot, like especially the 6- and 7-figure earners, where the 7-figure earners are like, I'm spending, 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 and it's like, wait a second, are you spending or are you actually creating for a future that doesn't yet exist? Mm-hmm. And so when we tweak that mindset just like ever so subtly, so bottle of water, are you spending money or are you creating for a future? Like, if you're hydrating yourself and you're hydrating your skin and you're enhancing your physical beauty as well as your internal beauty, is that creating for a future? Are you going to live longer? Are you like, if you're buying yourself lunch, oh my God, I just spent $50 on lunch. Really? Well, did you just sit next to somebody that you've been asking to sit next to or talk to for like 20 years and it happened because you went to a more expensive restaurant? That's not spending. That's actually creating for your future. So when you begin to look at money as a creator of possibility, as a creator for a future that doesn't yet exist, then the conversation around money is really different. It's not about, oh my God, I had $120,000 in expenses last year, which I practically did. I was like, oh, I'm creating for my future. If they weren't expenses, they were creative possibilities. And when you look at money as a source of creative possibilities, not as a lack-have, then the conversation, the possibilities, the creation for a different future, it's like, you know, that's why Cory and I are doing this class, because we want more magicians with money, the creators of the world, to switch their thinking into looking at, well, are you spending or actually are you creating something that doesn't yet exist? And if it doesn't yet exist, it requires money. It also requires magic. So that's what I look at, and that's what has me lit up about what we're playing with people. We're really just having a conversation to invite them into looking at things just one degree of difference.
Mm-hmm. So 75% of my clientele base, they own $73 million airplanes, they work in oil, they have yachts, they have mansions, they have nannies, but they have no time. And this was some of the things that I think you were talking about here just a moment ago that would hit home to them. When they're already creating from a space of having, what's left? Where can they go from there?
Can you go, Katherine?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I personally love that question because I can relate, right? I can relate to working my ass off and having money in the bank account, but being really time poor. I have a nanny. I have a traveling nanny, you know, and really what it boils down to for me was realizing that money was not the source of joy. Mm-hmm. Money was just the illusion that I thought would get me to the source of joy. So for those people out there that have the money, they have like the freedom with money that can get them the yacht, that can get them the private jet, that can get them the private nanny or the private cook, it's like they're looking for internal joy that money can't freaking buy. And so it really is about what was it that had you connect to the magic of money? That magic is still inside of you, and then how do we include money in the conversation without taking away from the joy that you are? And so it's about beginning to switch the conversation. So here's the money. Okay, well, where's the joy? Where's the magic? And it's a subtle shift. And what happened for me is I was working 80 hours a week, and a person who I cared really deeply for in my life looked at me and said, "You know you're in charge of your own schedule, right?" And I was like, oh, I had been literally putting myself on my own hamster wheel, and I didn't even know that I could step off the hamster wheel. It was like I was proving why I deserved, quote unquote, deserved the money. I was proving it by running myself into the ground, practically going to the hospital. Like, I mean, I was time poor. And I had to get off my own hamster wheel. And so for those of you thinking, well, I can't, I've got to pay for my 20 employees or pay for my 50 employees, Cory and I know, and Rachel, you know, there is a different way, but it begins with you recognizing that you can actually have it. Just like you knew you could have the money when you didn't have it, you went for it. Well, it's like you can have both. You just have to know that you can have it.
And give yourself permission, for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, like giving yourself the permission to have a life and to not have to be the sole source of your business and your money, and really go, okay, so what is it that I would truly like without all the obligations of the business and without the obligations with family and all that kind of stuff, really tuning into what is it that you would like that would light you up, and how can you have it all without doing it all. And there's a magic and an elegance that people step into when they go, oh, I don't have to do all the things I think I have to do, all the commitments and obligations. There's always another possibility if you're willing to look at it.
Absolutely. Or what have I been refusing to receive about my life that I've been creating and killing myself over that I already have?
Well, and that's such a brilliant question too, because there's like when I work with people in this particular conversation, so to speak, or this complaint, whatever you want to call it, it's really like there's a possibility sitting right here, like within arm's reach, and because they've made up some story in their head, it's like they can't have it because something, and they're like, I can't have the time I want, or with my kids, or the freedom, or whatever, because of something, right? So we make up this stuff, and a lot of times it's not even ours. Like we got it, like it's like we caught it, like a cold, right, from our parents or something. Where we're like, we're just duplicating other people's lives, and when you start to look at like, is that really for me? Like, is that something I would like to have as my life, or is there something I can change here? There's always. I mean, I can't say that enough. There's always another possibility for everything. So, Katherine and I know you are too, Rachel, like experts at identifying where other possibilities are and helping you connect with them so that you can ignite to what the life that you would truly love to have. Because I love looking at the question of what would the world be like if everybody was, or we'll say more people, it would be awesome if everybody, but if more people were really living in their joy. What would it be like if you went to the grocery store, or you went on a vacation, or you went to buy a car, and people were joyful? Like everybody was joyful. Like, I don't know. What would
the world be like if everyone was able to align with the dreams, that dream life they know that they could have, and literally gave themselves permission to have it?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I look at like, what if joy was normal, and what if being a millionaire or billionaire was normal? And it's like then the millionaires and billionaires out there wouldn't have to hide their money or wouldn't have to separate themselves. And, you know, that separation, it is what causes like the joy to diminish because you feel separate from. You feel separate from the possibility, right? And so it's about closing that separation gap. And if joy and being a millionaire or billionaire were the normal, were the new normal, then how much could we change? How much could we create? And what's actually possible with the world that we haven't yet even considered?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to have been able to squeeze a little information from you guys to trickle a little fairy dust, your little magic onto some of my people. Katherine and Cory have been so kind to give me a link to exclusively offer my people their program. And I want to thank you guys for putting your contribution and your magic into this money-making gem that you guys are creating. And I'm so looking forward to playing with you even more so in the future. If any of you have any questions, you can either email me in the Facebook link or you can personally send me an email. You all know who I am. And if it's something that I can't answer, I can forward it over to Katherine or Cory. I'm sure that they would be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you have about their program or anything else that they actually have that they could offer. So do you guys have any other little information, little tidbits that you'd like to contribute to this exclusive interview?
I would just say if it's like to come play, come play. It's a 10-week money class. It's, you know, over 200 people live all over the world, and the energy that is being created, if you want to join the conversation, and it's like this conversation is lighting you up, then we would be honored to come play with you. And really, it's about what you know about money and what you know about joy and what you know about having that contributes to the class going somewhere that we don't even know is possible yet. So that's what
I would like to add this on top of that. Even if it feels light, that's fantastic. And if none of you know even what the light and heavy mean, then so be it. But what I'd really like to say is if you're really repelled by this, then you obviously have something here that's going to rock your world.
Yeah, well, I love that you said that, Rachel, because money is such a touchy subject, like, for people. Absolutely. And we're literally just breaking down all the judgments, all of the barriers, all of the places where we don't want to look at it, to actually look at it, because that's actually what's required to change anything. And sometimes these issues are stuck in places that we wouldn't have normally looked, right? Like health issues could be stuck in, like, because you're hiding money, right? Like, or you don't want to be seen for your money, or your business might not be growing because you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be known as rich or something like that, right? Like I said before, they're all interconnected, and so we're going, hey, we're just going to shine the flashlight in here, see what's in here, throw it out without judgment. It's like, hi, okay, you don't belong here. Let's get out of that cupboard, and then move it away. And what's so cool about this class is that there's no judgment, there's no shame, there's no, like, blame, and we're getting to the space of creating without regret, right? Of really being able to go, heck yeah, I'm having it, and yeah, I make billions, and let's go. Let's play, right?
You know, and that's a good point that you're making also about shedding light on stuff. Here's the thing, people. You want change so bad, but you want to keep the curtain on top of it, and you're like, wait, I'm just going to open this much because I don't want Cory and Katherine or anybody else to see really where I'm at in my business because I've been so good at bullshitting. You can't change anything if you're not willing to really get real with yourself. And that's what these ladies are going to do. And nobody's going to say, oh, you are so full of shit. You've been playing this game all along. And guess what? You're not going to go anywhere unless we call your bluff. And we get real. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to get real. You're going to get real with you. And the only person you need to get real with is yourself, because nobody really ever gives a crap about what you're trying to hide, because you're only hiding it from yourself. So really.
One more thing I'll add to that is that I know I've done other processes that where it's like you bring up the shame and we look at it and we get all emotional and it's this big deal. And I was always just like, why does this have to be a big deal? Can't we just change it? Can't we just clear it? Can't we just like put it in the trash can?
That's why you're
well, what's really cool is that the process that Katherine and I use is no BS. There's no like, let's go into the drama and trauma of this, and here's my story. It's really just like, is it working for you? No. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, is that working for you? Okay, no. Let's get rid of that. So it's like, there's an ease with actually being able to let this stuff go that we've had shame about, or we've been hiding, and all that stuff we've been talking about. So it's like, what if, like, there's an easier way, and have you been looking for that way to change stuff that's in your closet, so to speak, that, you know, everything you've ever done maybe has been either continue to try to hide it or bringing up all the drama and everything, because you're not going to clear it by going through the drama. So we can help you with that. Easier ways. We're all about ease.
And you're not going to clear it by using, even though I have $0 in my bank account, I'm a millionaire. I know I am, and it's going to fall out of the sky and land on my plate any day soon. I love those affirmations. It took me 8 years to kind of figure out they don't work. So, you know, if you have 8 more years to play with that, to see what's going to happen, then that's fine. But if you want to make some quick changes, then this is the deal, people.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us on, Rachel. And I look forward to meeting whoever wants to play and have a little more ease with creating the life that you truly want to live with money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
Rachel. I'm so happy and so grateful for your contribution to our planet and our money relationships and making some poor time, poverty-stricken people have some joy once and for all.
Awesome.